All right, here we are. We've got the hatchet head in the vise, ready to tie up. I got this one painted with a chartreuse base and a black kind of a coat over top of it, just sprinkled on lightly just to kind of give it an effect. And it's not really chartreuse, that was candy yellow with black on top of it. Comes out really good. It's the new hatchet head. Not It's new for me. I just started tying with it. I got these from Jay Terry. If you're looking for some, you can find him on Facebook. Absolutely does great work. But we're going to tie this jig up with some marabou. We're going to be using 210 denier. Just going to be a pretty simple jig. It's a 1/8 ounce number 4 J hook, and you could tell by the wire in that hook that's quality material right there. We're going to dab on the Sally Hansen's just like we always do, and we're going to tie this jig. You know what makes me want to tie a jig a certain color. There's colors I know I need that I want in my box. Black and chartreuse is always the number one, especially when I'm fishing Truman Lake. Truman, for me, has always produced very well with black and chartreuse. And some lakes are like that. Some of the other ones are blue and white. And you probably know what I'm talking about. Let me know if you know certain colors work on certain lakes. Send me a message. Tell me about that. Because I'm kind of curious if it's just me or if it's just the lakes around here. But we've got our 210 denier wrapped onto the thread to the point of the hook. We're going to get our marabou out. I've zoomed this video in really close so that way you can see a little more detail of that jig head. So we're not going to get a whole lot of feather cutting shots or anything like that. But we're going to pull out just enough of that black blood quill marabou, which came from Plateau Fly Shop in Springfield, Missouri. I like tying with the blood quill better. And I don't know if the blood quill is totally different from everything else, but I know it's got what I look for in it, the sharp points. If you've been watching my videos for very long, you know I go after the sharp tips on pretty much all my material, whether it's hackle, marabou, bucktail. I like that natural looking tip. I don't like it when it's like cut off flat. There's just something about the sharp tips to me just kind of make it stand out, make it look a little bit better instead of that scissor cut right there at the end of the tail, which the fish probably don't care whatsoever at all, but it's my style. It's what I like to do. So we got all that marabou tied in, and you see what I'm talking about. That's a really nice stack of marabou I got. And places like fly shops that specialize in that kind of material, those are the guys you want to look for when you're buying material. If you're lucky enough to live close to a shop that does nothing but fly tying, that's where all your good material is really going to come from. And I'm not saying there's other places you can get it, but I know a fly shop, they specialize in that, and that's their deal. That's their bread and butter. If you got one local to you, check them out. If you live anywhere here in Missouri, come by, check out Plateau Fly Shop. Tell them I sent you. Don't know what material you're looking for. Just go in and ask them, hey, I'm looking for the same type of material Eric Massey ties with. They will hook you up. Those guys in there, Wayne, Austin, some of the best guys I've ever worked with ever, and will answer any questions you got and tell you what they think about the material they got in their store. But we've got a little bit of yellow tied into it. I went with a totally contrasting color in this. I wanted that extra flash, that pop, along with that black and chartreuse. So that is a pure yellow blood quill marabou. And I like the way it looks. It wasn't that it was a customer ordered it or something like that. It was just, I liked it. It looked good at the moment. I tied it in. Sometimes I do that, just come up with the color in my head, a color scheme, something I haven't done before. And with the hatchet head being, this is the first one I've ever tied, it makes me want to do something crazy, something different with it. Nothing like getting something new to work with, a new type of Chanel, a new type of jig head. It makes you want to be creative with it. But we're going to put in some flash, and I don't have much of that left. That one packet of flash has lasted me almost 5 years. I can't think of where I got it from. I think somebody had actually gave that to me, but I know you can find that on a lot of websites, and I think maybe even Bass Pro might have carried it. but it is shiny. You can see that underneath the water, it pops. So not, we're going with contrasting colors. We're going with an extremely contrasting flash. It's just an oddball jig, and the color worked. I really like the way it looked. What do you think? You like it? Let me know. Send me a message. Tell me anything, what you think I should have done different with this. And yes, I tried to put eyes on one. It kind of worked. But I want some jigs that I don't have to put eyes in for a little while. Sometimes that gets old. Pretty nice just to paint a jig head up, live with the paint, be happy with it, and fish with it. It kind of made this one a little bit better. Just something different. And I got it all on one side. I pulled it over too tight. So to fix that, I'm going to add some to the other side and make it look like I did it on purpose. You're watching a video, you say, oh, he screwed up. He got all that on one side of that jig and not both. Yeah, you're right, I did. But to fix it, I'm going to make it look like it wasn't an accident. I tied it in on both sides. So that's one way to hide something you've done wrong in a crappie jig. Remember, get it in there getting tight. Loose wraps at first. When you get down to the bottom end of your flash, make it loose and then come back up really tight. That'll keep that flash from wanting to make a 90-degree bend and stand straight up. So we got it all tied in. It's smooth. It's neat. It's ready to put some Chanel on. What color do you think I should use? Should I maybe went with just a plain chartreuse, or should I went with a black? But I went with a, I cannot remember the name of that Chanel. Of course, I got to put up and I got to sit down here in front of me to name it. But it's got some sparkle to it. It's dark. It's black. It's got some green in it. It's kind of silver, kind of blue, kind of depending on which way you turn it. Let's start wrapping it in. We're going to get all that marabou out of the way, and we are going to start wrapping it. Nice, even wraps. But when I get toward the middle of that jig, pay attention, because I kind of let it overlap a little bit in the middle, kind of make a belly effect, make it a little bit bigger than just doing a straight wrap. See right there, I kind of let it build up a little bit more. I got to the head. One more turn with that peak rotary vise. We're going to swap the bobbin on the other side. We're going to pull it nice and tight. Go back one more time. Go back around your Chanel again. Get it wrapped up real good there around the head. Get your scissors out, and we'll be ready to cut that Chanel loose. This jig makes me want to go fish Truman. Really, really makes me want to go fish Truman Lake. There it is. We're going to swap it over again. Cut it off. We're going to get that whip finish tool out. If you haven't, checked out my video a couple before, and I'll show you step by step the easiest way to learn how to use that whip finish tool. That's a nice jig. I kind of like the way that one looks. Muddy water maybe. Stained, kind of dingy. A lake that's kind of got that green fertile look to it. That might be the best place to fish that jig. There goes our whip finish. Gonna get it pulled in there nice and tight. Cut that thread off, and there it is. It is done. The Hatchet head. Send a big thank you to Jay Terry for those jig heads. Put it in there and show it off. We're just about done, folks. If you haven't yet, please like, share, subscribe. Hit that thumbs up. That thumbs up is so important to a YouTube creator. It helps get YouTube to push those videos out. It don't cost nothing. It's the cheapest way to support me and help me do what I keep doing. If you like this video, you watched all the way to the end, send me a thumbs up. And tell me, do you have a specific color for the lake you fish? That is all I got, folks. Y'all have a good evening.